Hi, Patreons. Okay, so this is going to be a Patreon exclusive video. I'm going to be reviewing the movie You People. I have just made a YouTube video like 30 minutes ago. Hopefully, it should be up by Sunday, discussing Black erasure and kind of using the movie You People by Kenya Barris or Barris. I don't know how to say his name, child, but using that as a reference point. But during this video, I'm going to talk about my thoughts during You People. Child, what the fuck? That's my first thing. This was like such a bad movie. I feel like they just throw money at anything. It made me feel like, wow, like it's just it doesn't even matter. Like it's just oh God, okay. Organizing my thoughts. So the first thing that I noticed about the movie, which I spoke about in my YouTube video, was the fact that Eddie Murphy, like the casting was shitty. Not only was the casting shitty, also I feel like Nia Long doesn't look that much older than Lauren London, and she's supposed to be her mother. Then I Googled and they're only 12 years apart. What mom is only 12 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is an issue I have with a lot of movies where they intentionally cast women who are really close in age because they're so scared of having an older woman. You will not see them like the only older woman that they can reference is Viola Davis. And she's too dark for Kenya's preferences. Kenya doesn't like dark skinned women. So yeah, that's like the first thing that I noticed. I was like, okay, wow, the age different. The casting was really shitty. I don't know if the writing was bad or if I don't know, like, or if they just can't act. But some of the acting was really questionable. Like, I just didn't find it to be believable. I didn't find Eddie Murphy's pro-black, like, aesthetic thing to be believable. And it just kind of made me feel like, Kenya, is this what you think pro-black people, like, sound like and act like? Like, you made it a mockery. And to take the, like, Kofi he had on his head, like, that headpiece that Eddie Murphy was wearing, and to have that white lady stomp it out because it caught on fire, like all of these really gimmicky tropes, like the whole movie to me just kind of felt like a gimmick. Like seeing what am I trying to say? The whole movie felt like a gimmick. Yeah, it just felt like cosplaying of like it just felt like all the black tropes. Like when Carisha's wig went flying off, like the way that they just make it like, using black people's things that mean a lot to them, like our hair or our spiritual regalia, using that as a way to just like have it catch on fire or have it fall off or have it rip off. Like these just really, it was kind of giving Tyler Perry. It was kind of giving Tyler Perry. But yeah, that was like something I really didn't like. And another thing that I didn't like about it was just like they made false equivalencies. Like the whole time I was watching, I was like, Jonah, your family's really problematic. Like, and the wild part is like, if any of y'all have ever like, when it comes to interracial dating, like my whole thing is if you're gonna put a black person in line of fire by dating them and bringing them around your racist family, because it's not like, let's call it what it is, like that's racism. Like if you've never been around a black person and you live in LA and to the point where like you're around a black person and you're like regurgitating all these things you've seen because you're so racist. If you're a white person and you're dating somebody like that, you need to, I don't know, punch your dad. As soon as you start singing that song, like hit your father, like do something more active. Like you were not doing anything to help her in the line of fire. You're seeing her dad sing Legend to her, and you're just looking at her smiling. Like, I feel like that's something that has happened in with just complacency within whiteness, where you're like not gonna defend. You're like, oh, it's all well-meaning. Like a lot of times, white people interpret all racist acts as like well-meaning until it's not. But it's like you need to nip it in the bud. Like if you're gonna put your person in the line of fire, you need to really be like, if you're gonna date someone black, you need to really be defiant with how you stand up for them at all uncomfortable situations. Like your privilege should be able to do that. And another thing I thought was so funny about this whole storyline is like Jonah Hill, who was a broker, turned into a podcaster who was then on Complex. Like you are a rich, like let's just look at it. You're a rich white boy who grew up in LA, who had a lot of money, was able to create a podcast about black culture. It's not even about black culture, but black culture adjacent, where you're like on black podcasts. And because you're working with a black person, like, isn't that just, I don't know, I thought it was so interesting. Like, for him, he's like following his dreams, but I'm like, why is your dreams to be so much integrated into black culture and like to make so much money from your podcast, to make so much money that you're able to like take care of this girl? Like the storyline was just super shitty. And the biggest thing that I was just like, why is no one talking about this? Like that whole Coke scene, that's a problem. Why didn't Lauren find out that her husband to be was doing Coke binges in Vegas and has a coke man in Vegas, and they were looking at that like a personality flaw. Like, oh, he just like a almost like you drink too much coffee or something. That's a really serious thing to not have a wife find out that you can go on coke binges and you have a coke dealer. That's really serious. And that was like never addressed. See, this is why I like my Patreon, because I can really be like impassioned and inflamed in ways that I don't really feel comfortable being on YouTube anymore. Because when I do this, people just attack me and are like, you're so aggressive. But like, that was a really, really bad part. Like, what? And then for the Eddie Murphy's brother to be like, well, you did it back in the 70s. But did you go on coke binges in Vegas? Like, that's a red. There was so many red flags in the relationship, and then for the ending to be so gimmicky of like, we haven't talked to each other in 6 months, but our family plans our wedding. So it's almost like an arranged marriage a little bit. Very strange. A very terrible movie. Kenya Barris has to, yeah, he's gonna have to see somebody for that. He needs to have atonement for his, because he's just out here shitting on dark skinned women and just creating biracial babies and storylines. I feel like he's hanging on for dear life because his wife looks like a white woman. So he's trying to I feel like he's trying to soothe his desires and his like aspirations towards whiteness. Yeah, I do. The movie was trash. Throw it in the bin. Let me produce a movie. Like, at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, the representation is so bad. We're in the pits of hell. Dark-skinned people are nowhere to be found. Yeah, put me on the roster. I want to come next. Let me know what y'all think of the movie. How have you liked it? Also, I've been trying to organize like a Zoom call with all of us on Patreon, but I feel like I don't know if I'm just not announcing it well, but when I do it, I'm not having anybody show up. So if that's something that you're interested in, also write that in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.